All right, welcome back. I think the Hanzo might have been cheating or was really good. Let's take a look here. Hope you've been doing well. We talked a little bit about the Genji cycle, really, which is about kind of controlling an angle, looking for a cooldown engage, and then either using your cooldowns or your mobility and the wall climb, the double jump, and so on to disengage again, trying again, rinse and repeat. Short silence, going. See what we've got. Pretty decent composition to play Genji into. Obviously, a little bit of an early deflect there. Means that we're going to be unable to really control an angle here as much, but I still would like to see us re-peak this angle here so that we don't walk directly into spam. There is really almost never any reason for you to be stacked here as Genji, especially if you're not looking for one of those deflects. Now, again, I'm not a big fan of those deflects all the time, but sometimes they can work pretty well for, like, maybe you can use it on Junker Queen Carnage. Maybe the Orisa uses Fortify and you deflect to stop the Orisa from doing damage during Fortify. Might block some soldier damage for your tank as well. In other words, there's value here occasionally, but certainly not now. Certainly not now without the deflect. In fact, it's extremely dangerous for you to be here. So really you should be going back here, passively controlling this angle without your deflect. Or even better, look to rotate around this way and wall climb and throw some shurikens this way. Again, trying to be careful because you don't have your deflect, but you still have your dash and you have your HP. So you just don't want to be here. You don't do a lot of damage here. It's also very risky. So this is good. This is good. Nice, nice. Now you have your deflect as well. So this is good. And you actually notice that while you don't do a lot of damage here, because you're controlling this angle here, you see either Yari, you see Moira, you see Hanzo, and even the turret giving the attention here. And this means that there's really no frontline pressure from the enemy team. It's just the soldier and the Orisa. And because you have your deflect, you're able to hold here for a little bit, and you're not actually risking your life. So what actually ends up happening is while you control the off angle, that allows your team to win the frontline war. So this isn't always going to happen. The key thing with Genji is that you might distract a lot of people at a good time, you might play it perfectly, and that your team can't win it. But more often than not, doing that is the smart play, and it's going to allow your team to win more fights than they're going to lose. So being objective about that, that was good. I would have liked to have seen us get there earlier, though, and spend less time on the front line just for our own sake. Okay. Let's get forward a little bit here. Unfortunately, we get our deflect forced out really early. And then again, I really do not want to see us controlling angles directly stacked here. I want you to start here. Not only is it a slightly shorter sightline, but again, it allows you to look for opportunities to dive. It gives you better vision on where you need to be. Yes. So my only problem, I think, is that maybe we're a little bit late with the angles that we take. This is good. This is really good. I think you're just too slow. You're just too slow to get here, and you're too slow to get out. So look at what happens, right? Probably would have deflected here, right-click and deflect. That's your biggest mistake right here, is that you played this 1v1 very poorly. But the theory is really good, right? You're on top of a support. You have your deflect, you have your dash, you have your full HP. The Hanzo ends up hitting a really nice shot, which is unfortunate, but it's just a mechanical thing more than anything else, or your ability to 1v1. You should have gotten out sooner. That's all. But yeah, you got on top of her. You got on top of a full HP with both cooldowns. You needed to either get the kill or do more pressure and live, right? Be careful about this distance here. Obviously, it's okay because he's pretty low, and surely you can deflect a shot that gets too close, but yeah. Again, be careful of that frontline deflect, right? I don't mind it as much early in the fight. It's okay, but it does mean that you're not going to be able to play this angle or this angle as aggressively as you'd like to because you do not have that deflect. Like if you wanted to dash in right now, it would be very risky to do so without your deflect. You could have dashed in right now, deflected your way out. Thankfully, you guys have grab, so I probably would just dash right there. Yeah, that's good. But obviously, you're a little bit risky, right? Nice. Weird deflect. I think you're expecting either Yari, but obviously she wasn't there. Nice job. Risky, but seemed reasonable. Okay, there's always an inherent aspect of risk with this character. It's about managing that risk and making educated risks. Educated gambles. Everything in Overwatch and really on any hero is an educated gamble. Nothing is guaranteed. I like that. A little bit awkward with your movement, a little bit static, but it was good enough. And by static, I mean very like rigid, bump, 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 not very fluid, but that comes with practice. Okay. So I want to see quickly, a little bit quicker on the angles, a little bit more practice in controlling those angles, and still keep an eye on those frontline deflects that prevent you from controlling angles. But mostly pretty decent. Now, I would like for you to get... okay, this is cute. So let's talk about this. This is what I would call you were trying to apply the Genji cycle. The fight has started, kind of, sort of. You're going in from a short sightline with your wall climb. You have both cooldowns, you have full HP, and you're on top of targets that are pretty good for you, right? Illari, Hanzo can put a lot of pressure on those guys, a lot of threat. There's risk here, but there's also a lot of value to be found too. So let's critique what went wrong, because that's all the good things, right? First thing first, wrong target. Moira, not your best 1v1, and also the one that you were furthest away from. This is a really silly decision. You should have turned immediately and gone for the Hanzo and Illari that were a lot closer and dash through them instead. From here, you probably right-click, deflect out, drop, and then get healing from your team. That would have bought your team not only a lot of time to deal with the Doomfist and maybe killed him like the Orisa was earlier, but it might have also led to a kill. Let's say that your Life Weaver hits a couple shots. Let's say your Moira throws a damage orb. Anything sort of follow-up damage, and one of these targets dies. Probably also forces some cooldowns to the enemy team. And if you play your deflect well, then you're good to go. The problem here is you go for the wrong target. You dash out, and you don't deflect quickly enough. I actually would have loved to deflect there a lot sooner. You need to respect the enemy team's following up. Remember, it's the cycle, right? One, then the next one. And then also because you dashed this direction, your ability to disengage, as opposed to just dropping to your team, is you're kind of isolated. You have no cover. You don't really have anywhere to go to. So I like the idea of what you did. I just don't like how you did it at all. And I don't think this Hans is hacking so far. I've not been super impressed. See what happens here. Maybe, could be, but I don't, not fully seeing it. Good, nice short sight line here. You are down a few. You have your HP. You don't have quite your cooldowns quite back, so you can't quite go as aggressively as you'd like to. Yeah, I mean, this is all mostly fine. It's just you're just down a bunch of people, so you can't really be here. You need to get out. 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 Don't stagger. Don't stagger. Don't stagger. Don't stagger. You're gonna die. You're gonna die. Oh, okay, you should have died there. Stayed too long. Stayed too long. Wasn't, again, not the idea of what you did that was bad. Just the execution. You probably should have died there. You do create a big distraction on the back line, though, which is what allowed your Zarya to get all the kills that she did. So again, it's what you're doing is fine. So you can kind of see it's like, you're like, I didn't do a lot that fight. Well, you actually did. You pulled a lot of resources your way. You probably should have died because you did it a little bit sloppily. But it's what allowed your Zarya to walk forward and kill two people, basically three people. You're kind of playing tank there. I would be, yeah, this is just silly, right? Like this is just silly. Like you have to respect the enemy DPS. You have to respect the enemy DPS. He is just has an advantage here. You're playing at like medium to longish, not longish range, but medium range. You're kind of by yourself. You didn't even deflect. You're also, your movement is very predictable. You're not really utilizing your wall climb or your double jump or your 80-80 strafing much at all. You kind of look at it from his perspective, right? You're pretty predictable about where you're going to go, right? You peek the corner, he misses one shot, and then you just walk right to there. So it's pretty predictable movement from you there. And a little bit silly to play at the range that you did. This is just, the fight was lost. Doesn't really matter what happened there. Okay, we're looking for Blade. Deflect maybe a little bit early. You could have just played behind your tank and you would have been okay. Now, let's talk about the Genji cycle here. As you use your deflect early, you took damage, and then you dashed in. Very, very risky here. This is totally fine if you have your deflect, right? Because you can easily deflect and wall climb out. But what I probably would have done here is, especially without my deflect, I don't think I throw my shurikens here. I think I immediately duck behind cover or wall climb out, right? Remember, it's your cycle, right? If you don't have your deflect, you need to utilize that wall climb instead, or some sort of cover. This is good. Again, it's not what you're doing, it's how you're doing it that's not perfectly optimal. Yeah, okay. Let's maybe we get a chance to use our blade here. Like this little flank here, this is a great section of the map for Genji. Point is also really powerful. Nice. Very good. A little bit mechanically, really mechanically messy there at the end. But you killed the one target you needed to. You got on top of him. You timed it really well with your team, so there was not a lot of follow-up from the enemy team. You mess up your movement here, and then miss the slash in the soldier, and that might actually kill your team. That definitely kills you. Yeah, that's gonna kill your team. That soldier should have died. That would have allowed your Sojourn to live as well. So mechanics there. What you did was fine. but your movement was and execution was not great. That being said, not bad. Not bad. You should look at that fight as an overall W for what you did, just not exactly how you did it. Okay, let's keep going here. Now this map is a little bit tougher, definitely more open, so it can be a little bit harder to get on top of the Hanzo, Soldier, Iliari, and so on. If your team ends up fighting the left side, this is pretty good for Genji here. If you're able to get up close, this is pretty good. You can also utilize these flanks here if you get the opportunity to. This is an okay Genji map, but because it is so wide, it is hard. I like what you're doing right now, though, as long as it's timed well. Yeah, I think he had Sonic on you here. Oh, no, he saw you through glass. Okay. Love this. Love this. Love it. Love it. Now, you have your team engaged, and you have your dash and deflect. If you want to go for this 1v1, you can. Micro thing here, and this just tells me that you need more practice in either deathmatch and ranked or both, where, let's watch this one slow. Good? I think what I would have done micro-wise here, I don't want to overwhelm you with details, but some things to kind of keep in mind. First is that you need to dash and then right-click. That needs to come out a little bit faster, so you can start to channel your right-click. You can hold down right-click during your dash animation. It will go out immediately. So that would have helped this to be a little bit faster. In addition here, he's just released an arrow. He's not inducted at all. There's no reason for you to deflect this early unless you see him pop Storm Arrow or he starts to induct his next arrow. So what that means is you could have thrown at least one more right click before deflecting again, because he literally physically cannot shoot another arrow fast enough unless he pops Storm, in which case you react with deflect, right? So I think this deflect here is too early because he's just now started to induct his next one. So one more right click there. That being said, really nice play. Grab the Mega. I definitely grabbed the Mega. Dash out, grab the Mega, and then try again. Oh, don't die. Oh, you should have died there. Oh my goodness, what just happened on my screen? Oh my goodness gracious. That being said, not executed well mechanically, but good job. You did the right thing. I know I'm nitpicking your mechanics a lot. I think this is just a very, very important character to play mechanically well. But if you keep playing like this in terms of like what you're going for, and crucially when you're going for it, I think your timing has been really quite reasonable all the way throughout the VOD. I think if you're able to practice consistently, then I think you're going to see some improvements. Nice job. Break the shurikens, what am I saying? Throw the shurikens so you can break the turret. Getting nice up and close to the Moira. You also have an escape route here too, so you can wall climb out if you need to. I don't know that you'll need to. Love this. This is good. Nice deflect, nice dash, nice job. Again, good time, nice job. Your character's short range, that was a nice shot. No, I don't think this guy's hacking. I mean, he might be, but I just think that he's hitting occasional headshots and they're good shots, but he's missing a lot of shots here. Let's look at this here. Maybe? I mean, I don't know. It's not enough to like really like toss the game really. This is good. Getting nice up and close. You have both your cooldowns. You force the fade out, right? Just because you're on top of her, and then you can always just disengage out. I mean, this is mostly fine. I don't think there's a whole lot to say here. You got up close to somebody with both your cooldowns at the same time as your tank. This is good. You have your deflect. So just in case, that deflect is super weird. Now you don't have your deflect yet, so you need to be really careful how you take this 1v1. Nice. Careful. Okay. Actually, not bad. That was actually pretty good. So what I would do here is I would utilize like the wall climb to kind of make his shots a little bit trickier and then disengage him. That right click is also very late. So, I mean, it's not very late. I think you gave yourself time to 180. You just didn't hit it. So more of a mechanical miss here. However, he has a shot inducted. As soon as you see him take the shot, then you blade. Which is honestly perfect. He doesn't have the mobility cooldown to get away from you, but you waited for him to shoot first, then went into your blade, so that you, during your unsheathing animation, you actually just were totally free. So not a bad blade. And again, solo target, right? You notice that whenever you focus on one target, it always ends up leading to another, right? You focus on one, allows you to set up the next one. Now this is, yeah, you're going to die here, right? It's a little bit unfortunate because he was really low, but again, that deflect is there used, then the dash is used, and because you don't really have an escape route anymore, you're just going to die. Remember, it's the cycle. That's one of the times where I think you mess up your cycle here. So, okay. Fight's probably lost. I don't think you guys have really any ultimates. I would not be poking the player. Total waste of time here. Either get out or flank around and look for a squishy. But poking a Coaling Warrior at that range is quite literally worthless. Play your life here, play your life here, play your life here, play your life, play your life. Wait for your team. This thing is good. It's going to get you nice and close. You need to time it well. You're going to have your dash. You're going to have your deflect. I like that you're looking at your team. Obviously, you've got a couple people in spawn, but most of your team is here, and one of the enemy team is in spawn, so this is good. You need to get close, though. So as you're shooting shurikens, I would be walking forward, walking forward, walking forward, and then you can dash through if you need to once the warrior looks at you. A little early into deflect. I think you could have reacted a little bit better there, but I think what you did was fine. Get the mega, deflect. And you see how that deflect and dash and the mega, like, you see how well you played that cycle right there. I mean, it was perfect, right? That was really, really well done. You had your deflect. Now you don't have your deflect here, so be careful. You aren't close to her, so it's probably okay. But you can see how that one felt a little bit scarier. You took a little bit more damage. So the key thing is, it's not that you have to have your deflect to duel somebody. It just makes it a lot more comfortable. So if you don't have your deflect, nice job. You need to be very confident that you have either cover or you're able to go. Like right now, you don't have your deflect. So is this feeding? Yes, maybe, probably. But you're on top of him. So there is also a world where if he misses one shot and you hit one, then maybe you can win. But I see, you see that, like, it's such a small thing, right? Where like, I don't know that it was worth the risk. Once I use my deflect on the Hanzo, I think I just duck behind cover. I think I throw shurikens, maybe he starts to look at me and then I dash away, right? But when you don't have your deflect, you're a lot worse at 1v1ing people, especially people with guns like Hanzo. I say gun, but you know what I mean. Don't love this. I know he's the most accessible target, but I think my priority is to dash to here and utilize the short sightlines on here to get a squishy. I think this guy is close, but because it's Doomfist, it's just not my favorite target to go for, right? It's better than nothing, but it costs you a lot of time, your entire blade, and both of your cooldowns, and then the Hanzo ends up hitting some crazy shots. Let's actually take a look here. I mean, yeah, I don't really know, to be honest with you. Honestly, no idea. Do we get another fight? Looks like some crazy stall stuff is going on here. We need to kill that Iliari. That's unfortunate. Stress, stress, stress. Nice focus, nice deflect. I don't think there's a whole lot to say here. This is just messy mid-fight foolishness and like, you know, wait, who ends up winning this? Did they see 9? I think they see 9. I mean, either way, they lose, yeah. Okay, reasonable. I think there was a lot of positives about your cycle here. Could have been a lot better. I think the most important thing is that, you know, some of those deflects, keep an eye on that. You need a lot more practice 1v1ing people, I think, is the key thing. You need a lot more practice of not only the details of the 1v1s, but how you're moving with this character. It's almost as if your raw mechanics are better than your Genji specific mechanics, like how you move, your combos, the quickness with your blade needs more practice, which will come with time. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions, man.